It started with silence. Bruno, a golden retriever with eyes full of mischief and a tail that never stopped wagging, had suddenly grown quiet. For years, he'd been the life of the house, barking at the mailman, growling at his own shadow, chasing squirrels he'd never catch. But one day, the barking stopped. He ignored the doorbell. He didn't bark when Leah, his owner, came home. He didn't even whimper. At first, Leah thought he was tired. Maybe it was just the heat. But then Bruno refused dinner. And not just any dinner, his favorite, shredded chicken with sweet potato mash. She tried to hand-feed him, thinking he was just being picky, but he turned his face away and lowered his head. That night, Bruno lay curled up in the corner, trembling slightly. Leah noticed him licking his lips constantly, a subtle sign she would have missed if she hadn't known him so well. She knelt beside him, ran her fingers along his jaw, and he flinched. The vet appointment was scheduled for the next morning. The clinic was cold. Bruno sat still on the table, something he never did before. The vet gently pried open his mouth. What she saw made her sigh. Multiple cracked and infected teeth, inflamed gums, and early signs of jawbone damage. It was likely the result of chewing on hard bones and toys over the years. Toys that Leah had bought out of love, never realizing they were causing him slow, invisible pain. The treatment plan was aggressive and necessary. Extractions, deep cleaning, jaw correction, infection control, pain management, special post-op food. The list went on. And the number? $50,000. Leah froze. Her hand was shaking. She had just lost her job in a round of sudden layoffs. Her savings were thin, and her credit score was, frankly, terrible. The vet told her she could wait a few days to decide, but waiting meant more suffering for Bruno. That night, Bruno didn't climb into her bed like he usually did. He tried. She could see him want to, but the pain was too much. He simply lay on the rug, eyes glazed, mouth slightly open as he panted softly from discomfort. Leah opened her laptop. She applied for every vet credit card, financing plan, and emergency pet fund she could find. Rejected. 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 Her stomach twisted with guilt and helplessness. She whispered apologies to Bruno over and over. Then she found a small financing platform online, tucked away on a forum. It claimed to help pet owners with poor credit get the funds they needed, fast. It wasn't mainstream. It wasn't flashy. But it was something. She applied. The next 36 hours crawled. Leah barely slept. She kept refreshing her inbox, praying, bargaining, trying not to cry in front of Bruno. Then the email came. Approved $50,000, 000 dispersed directly to your vet. She stared at the screen for a full minute, blinking hard. Then she fell to her knees, sobbing into Bruno's fur. He didn't understand. He only knew she was upset and tried to nuzzle her, even through the pain. Surgery was scheduled for the next morning. Bruno went under for 4 hours. 4 infected teeth were removed, the jaw damage was addressed, and antibiotics were pumped into his system. When he came out of anesthesia, his tongue hung out the side of his mouth, but his eyes, drowsy as they were, met Leah's with something she hadn't seen in days. Relief. The next few days were quiet. Bruno was groggy. He drooled a lot. He could only eat soft food and had to wear a soft cone. But Leah didn't care. She fed him with a spoon, sat beside him all day and kept whispering, "You're okay now, buddy." Then came the bark. It was weak, barely a sound. A hiccup of a bark, but it was a bark. Bruno sat up, looked at a pigeon outside the window, and let out a short, scratchy woof. Leah grabbed her phone and filmed it, not for the internet, but for herself. She uploaded the clip later that night with a caption, "Asterisk, Bruno hasn't barked in weeks. He finally did today after his surgery. I'm crying." Asterisk. She didn't expect anyone to see it, but the internet did what it does best. Within 24 hours, the video had 1 million views. By the end of the week, 5 million. People from all over the world commented, "Crying at work. This dog's bark healed my soul. You're an amazing human for saving him." Offers came in. Strangers offering to help with the remaining bills. Brands wanted to send Bruno treats, toys, even his own line of dental chews. A pet care company reached out and asked if Bruno could be their new face for dental health awareness. They offered to sponsor all his future care. Leah looked at her dog, now sleeping peacefully at her feet, and realized something. That silent night a few weeks ago, the one filled with pain and fear, had turned into a story of love, hope, and a bark that touched millions. And somewhere in between vet bills and bad credit, a golden retriever reminded the world what it means to fight for the ones you love.